Hey everybody, I am in Walterboro, South Carolina now at the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. So I'm gonna walk around and see all what's here. So you can follow along. Okay, it's located at Walterboro Army Airfield Memorial Park. You can hear the airplanes behind me. And this says the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. The Hiram E. Mann Chapter, Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated, was chartered the 10th of January 1998. The charter was named in honor of Lieutenant Colonel Hiram E. Mann, who lived from 1921 to 2014, who received his combat training at the Walterboro Army Airfield in 1944. Lieutenant Colonel Mann flew 48 combat missions during World War II. His return to Walterboro in 1991 was the first of many trips to honor the achievements of the original Tuskegee Airmen and our local chapter. In addition to the chapter's mission of celebrating and preserving the history of the Tuskegee Airmen, the chapter has awarded more than 20 scholarships to local high school graduates who are seeking a career in aerodynamic related fields. A number of our award recipients have also been awarded national scholarships from the Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated. I don't know how good this is going to come into view on here. There's a lot of information on there. If it'll come into view, maybe I can do it this way. It shows this was dedicated Memorial Day, May 26, 1997. So this says Anderson Field. This airfield, the first in Colleton County, was built and dedicated in 1933 on 60 acres leased to the town of Walterboro by the estate of C.C. Anderson, for whom it was named. By 1937, the town purchased the field and its 3 unpaved landing strips. Local, state, and federal sources combined to fund a large hangar and paved runways. By 1941, the U.S. Army Air Corps leased the field from the town in early 1942 and purchased an additional 3,712 acres to create a new Walterboro Army Airfield. And then the Walterboro Army Airfield, opened in August 1942, was a sub-base of the Columbia Army Air Base and the largest sub-base in the 3rd Air Force. It served as a final training base for pilots prior to overseas duty and housed a military population of as many as 6,000, as well as hundreds of German POWs. When the base closed after the war, the field was deeded back to Walterboro and Colleton County. And this says the Tuskegee Airmen at World War II. In honor of the Tuskegee Airmen, their instructors and ground support personnel who participated in training for combat at the Walterboro Army Airfield during the Second World War. Because of their heroic action in combat, they were called Schwarz Vogelmannschaften Blackbird men by the Germans, who both feared and respected them. White American bomber crews, in reverence, referred to them as the Red-Tailed Angels because of the identifying red paint on their tail assemblies, and because of their reputation for not losing aircraft to enemy fighters, as they provided fighter coverage for missions over strategic targets in Europe. And somebody has placed a rock down there. So the rock that's down there says rehide and post to Facebook group I Miss You Jacob, or Instagram account I Miss You Jacob, in loving memory of Jacob Hughes. So it's hashtag Jacob Hughes Rocks. So if you ever see this, your rock is here at the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, but I'm gonna let somebody else rehide it. And this says, we were prisoners, but we weren't made to feel like prisoners. We were just people waiting to go back home. And that was Helmut Albright, German POW, Walterboro Airfield, 1945. And it says 250 German prisoners of war were held at WAAF during World War II, providing essential labor for local farmers until their reparation at the end of the war. So it says, look closely, buildings are rising out of forgotten foundations in the surrounding woods. Listen closely. There is a distant drone of fighter planes as they sweep overhead. You can hear voices in the wind whispering through the pines, the crisp orders of officers, the boisterous tones of pilots and mechanics, the low tones of German prisoners. Today, this is a quiet regional airport. During World War II, it was a bustling airfield which thousands of men passed through on their way to action overseas. For many, the airfield and the nearby town were the last taste they would have of home. For some, it would be a battleground as fraught with emotion and challenges as the sky above Europe. For others, it was a prison. Together, their stories to bring into life the incredible history of the Walterboro Army Airfield. And then it says over 500 black pilots faced discrimination and segregation while training at Walterboro Army Airfield between 1944 and 1945. Tuskegee Class 44-F in 1944. So that is them right there. And this says prisoner of war camp and camouflage school. During World War II, over 400,000 German and Italian POWs were quartered in camps across the United States. In many cases, the prisoners were used to fill vast labor shortages in production and agriculture. Their prisoner camps were small communities where they were able to stop at a canteen, put on plays and concerts, have sports matches, and take courses in English. Most German POWs were not ardent Nazis. They came to appreciate the kindness they were shown in the U.S. and carried the principles of democracy and American life back with them to post-war Germany. 150 German POWs were housed here at Walterboro Army Airfield. And that down there has got north, south, east, and west on it. And they do have picnic tables back here, so you could come enjoy lunch while you're visiting. And this says, in 1945, the Army deeded the Walterboro Army Airfield, previously known as Anderson Airfield, jointly to the city of Walterboro and Colleton County, including all surplus equipment. The beacon which is the aircraft guiding light, was left as part of the surplus equipment. In 1996, World War II buffs from out of state were caught making off with a load of military artifacts, including this beacon. Fortunately, they were stopped. This pedestal was constructed for the beacon by students from the Thunderbolt Career and Technology Center. The beacon was manufactured by Westinghouse in 1933, beaming a light for all military planes flying here during World War II. This says the Tuskegee Airmen. And it says in April of 1944, Walterboro Army Airfield stopped training fighter groups and switched to advanced individual air combat training. Over 500 black airmen from the training program at Tuskegee trained at the airfield between 1944 and October 1945, Class 44-F, shortly before their transfer to Walterboro Army Airfield. Tuskegee Army Airfield, June 1944. And this is life on base. And it says, we boarded a fleet of 6x6 trucks and were driven to some old ramshackle one-story barracks that looked to be vintage 1914. Next day, the base commander called a meeting to welcome us to Walterboro Army Airfield. And then it says training. So many men came to Walterboro as junior pilots and left about 4 months later to go overseas as well-trained fighter pilots. During their relatively short stay at Walterboro, the trainees logged an average of 60 hours in various types of training, including transition into the fighter aircraft to learn how to make safe takeoffs and landing, formation flying, instrument and night flying, aerial and ground gunnery, aerobatics, and combat tactics. And it says the best training fighter pilots ever got, they got at Walterboro. We put aside the race battles and put out good pilots. We had some of the most sincere people. I didn't see any slouching off in training black people for combat. And that's Span, Watson, Red Tails, Black Wings. It says Walterboro Army Airfield was activated on August 4th, 1942 as a small sub-base of Columbia Army Air Base. Like most modern military bases, WAAF formed its own small community. Men stationed at the base had access to a theater, chapel, hospital, and fire station. The base also had numerous barracks for housing, a POW camp, camouflage school, ordnance storage, and 3 runways. And this is what it looks like today. You can see that plane keep going up. They're weed eating over there, so that's the noise that you hear. And while this is the monument in Walterboro, they are working on one in Sumter, South Carolina at Shaw Air Force Base. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video about the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial in Walterboro, South Carolina. And as soon as I can get Mom's phone on so I can see my pictures. It says, during World War II, the Walterboro Army Airfield served as training ground for a group of Tuskegee Airmen. This monument celebrates the courage, bravery, and dedication and successes of African-American pilots that fought during World War II. And it says this monument is located at the Walterboro Airport. So I also touched base about there was one in Sumter. However, the one in Sumter is not completed yet. And a few years ago, they dedicated a road to 2 of the Tuskegee Airmen. There it was see if I can see it. Okay, it says the road off of Highway 378 onto base has been named Ashley Bowman Boulevard in honor of Sumter natives Lieutenant Colonel Willie Ashley and First Lieutenant Leroy Bowman. They were both Tuskegee Airmen who served in the Army Air Corps during World War II. And it says, even though the military was still racially segregated during World War II, a select group of African Americans were given the opportunity to fly, becoming the first black military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. So since they went to Walterboro, that is a part of South Carolina history. We both wanted to stop in today. And there was a lot of people there whenever we first stopped in. We've been there before and there wasn't that many people. Well, there wasn't anybody there the last time we came. But today there was a lot of people at the memorial. So how did you enjoy it?
It was good.
It was, I'm happy that they've got a memorial for them. And that made history all those years ago. And we went to the one in Sumter, but I could not figure out how to get over there. So whenever they ever get that one complete and I can figure out how to get over there to it, then we will put that in on another video. I think the one in Sumter is actually going to have like the airplanes up on the pedestals, because they got the thing going like that. So it's like an airplane could be attached to it. And the picture that's in front of it does look like the airplane's going to be attached to it. So I think that's going to be really nice if they ever get that completed. So then we'll have two places in South Carolina that you can go see about the Tuskegee Airmen. So I'm going to wrap this one up today. It's been a long day. We're coming in from Georgia and we still haven't made it home yet. So what you going to say, Mom?
Subscribe.
Yes, it's free.
It's free and don't cost you a dime.
And then you can enjoy more adventures while we're traveling the southeast and see where we're going to head up next. Won't be anywhere for a few days though, because I've got to work. However, the videos will continue because I have filmed quite a few the last couple of days. So with that,
And if you know somebody that wants to subscribe, tell them go ahead and do it. It's free.
yes, I love to show South Carolina history, any history in any state actually. So I will be there somewhere.
Because you got to live up to your name.
That's right, I got to live up to my name, traveling southeast. So I shall go across the southeast. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't know about the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial in Walterboro, South Carolina, I hope you enjoyed seeing that. You need to go back there and see it for yourself. It's really nice. And I'm going to let you go for now, so I shall see you in the future. Have a good day, and until next time, bye.
Bye.